In a universe where silence echoes louder than screams, one man dares to find his father beyond the stars. They called it Project Lima, a mission to discover life beyond our solar system. But when the crew vanished near Neptune, it became something else. Now, strange energy bursts are hitting Earth, and the only person who can stop them is the son of the man who caused them. He must travel through the endless black, face loneliness, madness, and the truth about his own blood. Sometimes the greatest journey is the one that takes you back home. This is the story of Ad Astra, a man's voyage through space, time, and the soul itself. Welcome back to Real Movie Breakdown, the channel where we dive deep into movies that challenge your mind and touch your heart. If you love films that mix emotion with cosmic mystery, make sure to hit that subscribe button because today, we're exploring one of the most beautiful yet haunting sci-fi journeys ever made, Ad Astra 2019, starring Brad Pitt. So, fasten your seatbelts, hold your breath, and let's launch into the unknown. Our story begins high above the Earth, where astronaut Major Roy McBride, played by Brad Pitt, works on the International Space Antenna, a massive structure reaching from the ground into near space. He's calm, controlled. His heart rate never goes above 80, even during the most stressful situations. He's a man defined by discipline, detached, quiet, and almost emotionless. But then, something goes wrong. A massive power surge strikes the antenna. Systems explode. Workers fall. Roy is thrown into open space, spinning through the sky. The world beneath him turns blue and white and endless. He struggles to deploy his parachute, fighting gravity's pull, and somehow, he survives. Later, news reports flood the world. A mysterious series of cosmic surges has hit Earth, killing thousands and disrupting power worldwide. Scientists trace the source back to Neptune, the farthest planet, where Project Lima disappeared 16 years ago. And here's the twist: Roy's father, Clifford McBride, was the commander of that mission. The man who went to the stars and never came back. Roy is called in for a classified meeting. Inside a cold, dimly lit briefing room, officials from Space Command or Spacecom tell him that they believe the energy surges are being caused by the Lima project. And since his father was the last man in charge, they think Clifford McBride might still be alive out there, near Neptune. Roy is stunned, but he hides it. He's been trained not to feel, not to show. He answers calmly, "My father is dead." But deep down, something breaks. All his life, he's lived under the shadow of his father, the heroic explorer who left Earth to find alien life, and abandoned his son in the process. Spacecom wants Roy to go to Mars. There, he'll send a personal message toward Neptune, hoping to reach his father. They need his emotional connection. His voice might be the only thing that gets through. Reluctantly, Roy agrees. This is more than a mission. It's a chance to face the ghost that's haunted him for decades. Roy boards a commercial flight to the moon. Yes, commercial. In the near future, the moon has become a tourist destination. There are fast food restaurants, souvenir shops, even duty-free stores, but outside the safe zones, there's chaos. Pirates roam the lunar surface, fighting for resources and control. During a moon buggy convoy, Roy's team is ambushed by space pirates. Bullets tear through the vacuum, silent but deadly. Roy's driver is shot, their vehicle flips, but Roy manages to fight back and survive once again. Calm under pressure, always composed, always disconnected. Later, in a quiet base, a colonel praises his performance, but we can feel the loneliness inside Roy. No matter how far he travels, he's always alone, distant from everyone, especially himself. Finally, Roy reaches Mars. He's escorted to an underground recording chamber, colored in soft red light. There, he sits in front of a microphone. The technician nods. "You can begin when ready." Roy hesitates. He stares at the screen. Then he speaks. "Father, if you're out there, I need you to know that I've never stopped thinking about you. They say you may be alive. Please respond." Silence. The message is sent. But hours later, when Roy checks back, Spacecom refuses to show him the results. He's told his presence is no longer required. Something feels off. He's escorted away by guards, but before they can detain him, a woman named Helen Lantos appears. She works at the base, and she knows the truth. She tells Roy, "Your father is alive, but he's not a hero anymore. She shows him classified footage, the Lima project. Crew had tried to mutiny years ago. Clifford McBride refused to abandon the mission and killed them all. He's been alone near Neptune ever since, still searching for alien life, refusing to accept that there's none to be found. Roy is devastated. His father, the man he worshipped, became a murderer, obsessed with a dream that destroyed everything. But Roy won't turn back. He decides to find his father himself. Helen helps him sneak aboard a supply ship headed to Neptune. During takeoff, the crew discovers him, a stowaway. A fight breaks out. In the chaos, Roy accidentally causes the crew's deaths. Once again, he's alone, traveling through the void toward the edge of the solar system. He stares out at the stars. His reflection shimmers against the window. He whispers, "I'm my father's son." Silence fills the ship. He's finally confronting what he's become, just like the man he's chasing. Days pass, then weeks. Roy floats in the empty corridors of the ship, surrounded by silence so deep it feels alive. He eats, sleeps, checks controls, but more than anything, he thinks about his father, about himself, about the strange calmness he's always carried, the same kind his father had before he left. Through flashbacks, we glimpse Roy's memories. A younger Roy watching his father suit up, promising, "I'll see you again, son." His mother crying as the ship vanished into the night sky. The loneliness that grew in his heart, shaping him into the quiet, emotionless man we see now. In his mission logs, Roy confesses, "I've been trained to be calm. I've been trained to be steady. But I'm starting to wonder if that calmness is really strength or emptiness." Midway through the journey, his sensors detect a distress signal. It's from another ship, the CVS-2, drifting without response. Protocol demands he investigates. Roy docks his craft and enters. Inside, flickering lights illuminate corridors smeared with blood. He moves carefully, calling out, no reply. He finds the captain's body, torn apart. Then, out of nowhere, a baboon lunges at him. One of the lab animals from a biological experiment gone wrong. In a terrifying struggle, Roy manages to kill the creature. His face remains calm, but his breathing trembles. He stares at the dead baboon, another echo of man's arrogance and isolation. Even in the void, humanity brings chaos with it. He files his report. Mission continuing. Encountered biological threat. No survivors. But the truth is clear, he's shaken. In space, there's no heaven, no God, only man, and his madness. Back on course, Roy's mind starts slipping. He stops sleeping, stops eating properly. He begins to see hallucinations, his father's face reflected in every window. Sometimes he hears whispers, "Why did you follow me, Roy?" He records another log. "I feel him near me. Maybe I've always been chasing a ghost. Maybe I became one myself." As he approaches Neptune, his ship passes the orbit of Uranus. Cosmic radiation dances across the hull. Outside, endless stars, cold, perfect, and silent. Inside, Roy's heart beats slower than ever. He's now millions of miles from any living soul, but somehow, he's never felt closer to the truth. Finally, Neptune. The planet looms like a blue ghost, vast and beautiful. Its icy rings shimmer like glass. Somewhere within that endless cold, the Lima project still orbits, a forgotten relic of mankind's greatest ambition. Roy approaches slowly. The Lima station drifts in silence, scarred by micrometeorites, yet still functional. He docks manually. When he enters, he finds the interior frozen in time, empty hulls, flickering control panels, floating objects that haven't moved in years. He moves through the corridors, calling softly, "Dad." It's Roy. No answer. Until suddenly, a faint voice crackles through the comms. "I knew you'd come." Roy freezes. It's him. Clifford McBride. His father. Alive. Roy follows the voice to the command deck. There, sitting in the half-dark, surrounded by data screens and old star maps, is the man he's been chasing all his life. His face is aged, but his eyes still burn with the same fire, obsession, pride, and loneliness. For a moment, neither speaks. Then Roy whispers, "Dad." Clifford turns slowly, emotionless. "You shouldn't have come." Roy steps closer. "The surges are killing people on Earth. You have to stop whatever you're doing." Clifford stares into the void beyond the window. "I'm close, Roy. So close. They don't understand. There's life out there, I just have to find it." Roy shakes his head. You're not close to life. You're surrounded by death. You killed your crew. Silence. Clifford's eyes darken. They wanted to turn back. They gave up. I couldn't let them stop the mission. Roy, you're not a savior. You're lost. Clifford, no. I'm the last true explorer. Roy looks around. The ship's reactors are unstable. That's the source of the energy surges, Clifford's malfunctioning power core. If it's not destroyed, it will tear the solar system apart. Roy tries to convince his father to come with him. Let's go home. Please, you don't have to die out here. But Clifford just smiles, a faint, tragic smile. I have no home, Roy. My place is here. Among the stars. Tears fill Roy's eyes. For the first time, we see him feel. He reaches out, but Clifford pushes him away. I never cared about you or your mother. My work was all I had. The words cut deeper than any wound. Roy whispers, I know, Dad, but I still love you. For a brief second, Clifford's mask cracks, pain flashes across his face. But he turns away again, lost in the cosmos. Roy arms the station's self-destruct. He drags his father toward the exit, tethering them together in the void. As they float away, Neptune's light washes over them. Clifford looks at Roy calm, peaceful. Let me go, son. Roy shakes his head. No, I won't lose you again. You have to. This is where I belong. And before Roy can stop him, Clifford releases the tether, drifting away into the dark, shrinking, vanishing into the blue fog of Neptune. Roy screams, Dad, but the sound dies in the vacuum. He's alone again, but this time, he feels everything. Roy uses the station's explosion to propel himself back toward his ship, a desperate, cinematic sequence where he shields himself with debris, spinning through space like a falling comet. He manages to reach his ship, bleeding and exhausted. In his log, he records his final thoughts. I've seen the edge of the solar system. I've seen my father's soul. He couldn't find life in the universe because he couldn't see it in himself. But I can. He sets course for Earth. The stars stretch before him, endless and beautiful. Months later, Roy lands back home. He steps out of the capsule, breathing the air, feeling the warmth of the sun. For the first time in his life, he's present. He's no longer chasing the ghosts of the past, he's ready to live. His final words echo. The answers we seek are not in the stars, they're within us. And that was Ad Astra 2019, a haunting, poetic journey through space and the human soul. It's not just about reaching the stars, it's about realizing that love, empathy, and connection are what truly make us human. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to Real Movie Breakdown for more deep, emotional movie explanations where we go beyond the story and into the heart of cinema.